Hey, this video is gonna be about mapping with the add-on blind slash. It's gonna be mainly for sighted persons, and I'm gonna show and go over what you need and why we map or how we map. Basically, you need the add-on blind slash and TomTom. You see these TomTom points here, and you also need two macros. Basically, one macro is this with this content. I have it here. And the other one is a waylist macro. You can type waylist or WL, doesn't matter. And I'm gonna basically show you what you can do with these buttons. But first I wanna show you how the pathing works and why we make the pathing. So to test, let's say you map this area and you wanna test your pathing if it works. You would open the waylist with this macro. It looks weird. It is how it is. And then you, in the waylist, you press R to redraw the map. And then you press C. And it makes a sound when you face the point area for the blind people. And you collect it. You just collect it. And then the pathing knows you're here, basically. And you can open it again. And you can, for example, try to get out of the zone to Denmark. You press right and left arrow. This would be Denmark. And if you enter on it, it starts pathing there from here. And it even takes basically this loop that is needed to walk and everything. So you would get led there point by point, basically, like this. Like here's to the right, you hear the right sound. Now you're on top and you would move as a blind person. So what they can do as well is they can press R again to redraw everything, and they can, for example, if they want to go repair or something, they can press L there and just type something like wrap or repair, and with up and down arrow. I think that's it. I'm gonna enter in it to select it and enter again to start the pathing. And now they get led to this repair here. And if I want to show one more thing, they can quest like this because here I have a quest, and they can press Shift B to select the quest, and then B to start the pathing there. In this case, it's easy, but I'm gonna show you actually. So what do you want to know basically? How the blind play before you start a map is they actually hear. Let me close this. They hear basically when they are next to an interact. For example, this taxi, right? And they can press their intake, the F key, to talk to this guy. And so when you draw a map, it's not needed basically to mark this NPC if it's next to the road. Just basically draw the road. And if a quest, let's say, is here, it would take the closest point in the waylist, and then they have an additional key to get to the quest objective 0. So any open fields doesn't need that many points. Of course you should have some, but for example, like I just made a path to the cave here. And of course the buildings have a lot of corners and stuff. You have to have the buildings properly. But the open field quest or getting in here is hard for them. But the open field doesn't need too much. These are, for example, not real buildings here. This here. So I didn't even make a point. But the tomb here you have to go in there and pop it and make it work. So that's it for the introduction, like how to. I wanna show actually when they press their intake key, they walk there, and they then can use another add-on, Keyboard UI, to actually buy and sell stuff. So it's enough when we make hero point. And I want to show you basically this macro here, this macro here. When you press this key, it opens this frame here and makes a point basically where you currently were standing in the moment you press it. So let's say I want to like this is all mapped already, but let's assume I want to map it, and I'm like up here, and I'm like, okay, I want to start mapping this area. So you would reset to 1, custom text. You can, let's say I'm gonna take this text. I'm gonna say, okay, this is how I wanna call this path. And then I basically start walking, make a point basically. I press the button, it makes one line. And then I would just redraw this path basically while pressing up the button. And when I reach something like this, like a crossroads point basically, I press this here. And it automatically generates a word basically that the pathing is looking for. And I can later basically draw this, like this is done already, doesn't matter here. Like by pressing the button you don't mess up anything existing. You have to basically copy this out and then put it into, give it to me, put it into a folder basically, a text, a Lua file.